Every year under the bright Californian sun, an astonishing 2.5 billion pounds of tomatoes are harvested. From the rich soil of the Central Valley to the technologically advanced farms of Yolo and Fresno counties, California dominates the U.S. tomato market. It supplies more than 95% of all processed tomatoes in the country and nearly 1/3 of the world's supply. But how do California farmers manage to cultivate and harvest such a colossal volume year after year? The answer lies in a powerful combination of ideal climate, fertile land, large-scale mechanization, scientific precision, and generations of agricultural know-how. The perfect environment for tomato farming. California's dominance in tomato production starts with its geography. The Central Valley, a vast flat expanse that stretches more than 450 miles from north to south, provides the perfect growing conditions. Its Mediterranean climate, hot, dry summers and cool, moist winters, allows for consistent and predictable tomato growth. Tomatoes are sun-loving plants, and California offers long days of bright sunshine with minimal rainfall during the harvest season. This reduces disease pressure and helps the fruit ripen evenly. Moreover, the valley's alluvial soils are incredibly fertile. They contain a mix of clay, silt, and sand that provides excellent drainage while retaining essential nutrients. These soils have been enriched over thousands of years, making them some of the most productive farmlands in the world. Combined with sophisticated irrigation systems, farmers can carefully control the moisture levels to suit the needs of tomato crops throughout their growing cycle. A massive industry backed by science. Tomatoes in California aren't just grown, they're engineered. The industry is backed by decades of agricultural research from institutions like the University of California, Davis. These researchers have developed new tomato varieties that are specifically bred for mechanical harvesting, disease resistance, and extended shelf life. Unlike table tomatoes grown for fresh consumption, processing tomatoes are denser, have thicker skins, and contain more solids. These traits allow them to withstand mechanical picking and transportation without being damaged. They're destined to become ketchup, sauces, pastes, soups, and canned goods. Farmers use advanced precision agriculture techniques to plan their fields. GPS-guided tractors help in planting rows with incredible accuracy. Soil is tested before every planting to determine nutrient levels, and fertilizers are applied precisely where needed. This scientific approach ensures optimal yields while minimizing waste and environmental impact. Planting begins with machine precision. The tomato harvest begins months before the actual picking during the planting season. Typically from March through May, California farmers use automatic transplanters that are guided by GPS. These machines can plant tomato seedlings in perfect rows at calculated depths and spacing. Before planting, the land is leveled using laser-guided graders to ensure uniform irrigation and drainage. Raised beds are formed to protect young plants from waterlogging and provide better root aeration. Some farms still use direct seeding, but most rely on transplanting to get a head start on growth. Plastic mulch films are often used to conserve soil moisture, control weeds, and maintain consistent soil temperatures. These innovations collectively help produce more robust plants that are better prepared for the demands of the long growing season. Irrigation and fertilization. A delicate balance. Water is life in California's dry farming regions, and its careful management is critical. Tomato fields are typically irrigated through drip systems that deliver water directly to the root zone. This method minimizes evaporation and allows for precise nutrient delivery. Fertilizers are injected into these drip systems, enabling what's called fertigation. By continuously feeding the plants throughout the growing season, farmers ensure steady development and maximize yields. Sensors in the soil monitor moisture levels and provide real-time data, allowing farmers to fine-tune their irrigation schedules. Pest and disease control are also tightly managed. Integrated pest management (IPM) strategies are used to minimize chemical usage. This includes crop rotation, resistant varieties, biological control like beneficial insects, and spot treatments only when absolutely necessary. The harvest, an industrial-scale operation. Come late July through September, the tomato fields of California explode into action. Harvesting is a high-speed industrial-scale operation, unlike anything most people imagine when they think of farming. Since the tomatoes are all harvested at once, when they've reached peak ripeness, timing is everything. Specialized tomato harvesters, each costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, roll through the fields. These machines are marvels of engineering. As they pass over the rows, they use rotating bars and belts to uproot the tomato plants, shake off the soil, and strip the ripe fruit from the vines. Once collected, the tomatoes travel up conveyor belts, where they are sorted by size and quality. High-tech optical sensors and air jets remove any unripe or damaged tomatoes. The good ones are dumped into large bins or gondolas pulled by trucks. This is all done at breakneck speed. A single harvester can process up to 30 tons of tomatoes per hour, and multiple machines often work in tandem. In peak season, hundreds of thousands of tons are harvested daily. Transport to processing plant. Once picked, the tomatoes don't sit idle. They are immediately transported to nearby processing plants, often located just a few miles from the fields. Timing is critical. The tomatoes need to reach the factory within 6 to 10 hours of harvest to ensure freshness and quality. The journey happens in large trucks carrying open gondolas filled to the brim with tomatoes. On arrival at the plant, each load is weighed, tested for sugar content and quality, and then sent for washing and processing. California is home to some of the largest tomato processing facilities in the world, such as Morningstar and Ingomar Packing Company. These plants operate 24/7 during harvest season. Inside, tomatoes are washed, peeled, crushed, and cooked down into various products like tomato paste, sauces, diced tomatoes, and juice. Much of this is then packaged under different labels or shipped in bulk to other manufacturers around the world. Labor and automation. Working together. Although mechanization handles the bulk of the heavy lifting, labor still plays a critical role in California's tomato industry. Workers oversee planting, maintain irrigation systems, operate harvesters, and work in processing plants. It's skilled labor, and the workforce is highly experienced. In recent years, labor shortages and rising costs have pushed the industry toward greater automation. Robotics, AI-assisted monitoring, and even drone technology are becoming more common. However, the human element remains irreplaceable, especially in managing operations, quality control, and dealing with unforeseen challenges in the fields. So, sustainability challenges and solutions. Producing billions of pounds of tomatoes every year isn't without its environmental challenges. Water scarcity is a constant concern in drought-prone California. That's why farmers are investing in even more efficient irrigation methods, soil moisture sensors, and drought-resistant tomato varieties. Another major challenge is the sustainability of soil health. Because tomatoes are a high-yield crop, repeated planting can deplete the soil. To combat this, farmers practice crop rotation with crops like wheat or safflower. Organic matter is also added to soil to retain nutrients and maintain structure. Waste from processing plants is increasingly being repurposed. Tomato skins, seeds, and pulp are used to make animal feed or even converted into bioenergy. Companies are also working on reducing packaging waste and water usage at the factory level. Economics behind the tomato industry. The California tomato industry generates billions of dollars in revenue annually. This isn't just a local achievement, it's a cornerstone of global food supply. The majority of ketchup, canned sauces, and pizza toppings around the world start their journey in a Californian tomato field. Processing tomatoes are sold by weight, and farmers are paid based on quality metrics such as bricks, a measure of sugar content. As global demand for processed tomato products continues to rise, prices can fluctuate based on factors like weather, water availability, and international competition. California's farmers also benefit from cooperatives and grower associations that help negotiate prices, share resources, and lobby for favorable agricultural policies. The California Tomato Growers Association, for example, plays a key role in keeping the industry organized and efficient. Global impact of California's tomatoes. It may come as a surprise that tomatoes from California are enjoyed across the globe. The paste and concentrates made in California are exported to Europe, Asia, and Latin America, where they're used in everything from Italian pasta sauces to Indian curries. In fact, California is one of the top 3 tomato-producing regions in the world, alongside China and Italy. This places an enormous responsibility on the shoulders of the state's farmers. Not only are they feeding Americans, but they're feeding the world. The future of tomato farming in California. As the climate changes and water becomes even more precious, the future of tomato farming in California will depend on continued innovation. Researchers are already working on heat-tolerant and drought-resistant tomato varieties. Newer harvesting machines, with better yield recovery and less plant damage, are in development. There's also a growing interest in regenerative agriculture farming methods that restore and enhance the ecosystem. Cover cropping, no-till farming, and carbon sequestration are being tested in tomato fields to improve long-term sustainability. Vertical farming and greenhouse-grown tomatoes are gaining popularity in other parts of the world, but for large-scale processing, California's open field system remains unmatched. The story of how California farmers harvest 2.5 billion pounds of tomatoes each year is one of scale, innovation, and dedication. Behind each bottle of ketchup or can of tomato paste lies a remarkable network of growers, scientists, engineers, and workers who have turned tomato farming into a high-tech, high-efficiency system. It's a process that combines nature and technology, tradition and innovation, and local labor with global reach. From seedling to supermarket, California's tomato harvest is a shining example of agricultural excellence, one that continues to shape the way the world eats. So that's it for today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.